Blood Harvest. This is a story about a village hidden deep in the mountains of America. Journalist Michael Carter was investigating an ancient and forbidden cult. He was chasing rumors of a mysterious ritual called Red Harvest, a ceremony said to be performed in a village so remote that it didn't even appear on maps. The village was deep in the Appalachian Mountains. No government records mentioned its existence. Few had ever visited, and the rare survivors who made it back refused to speak of it. Michael ignored the warnings. Using an old hand-drawn map, he made his way into the wilderness. Thick fog covered the forest, making it hard to see. After hours of walking, he noticed lights flickering through the trees. Ahead of him, a forgotten village lay in silence. Too silent. As he stepped forward, people appeared from the shadows. Their faces were emotionless. The villagers surrounded Michael, whispering something in unison. Zaneth Vur Talmar. Zaneth Vur Talmar. The words meant nothing to him. Their voices were low, rhythmic, like an incantation or a prayer. An old man stepped forward, his head wrapped in dark cloth, gripping a staff carved with strange symbols. Thurashnal Zaneth, Vekar Limtur. Michael gestured, trying to ask if anyone spoke English. The villagers did not respond. They just stared at him, as if he hadn't spoken at all. What is this place? He took a step back. The villagers moved in closer. Suddenly, the old man muttered something in a deep voice. Vekarthun Ralas. At his words, every villager dropped to their knees. Michael had no idea if he was being welcomed or sacrificed, but every instinct told him he was in danger. Then, from the crowd, a young girl locked eyes with him. She hesitated, then whispered in broken English, "Help me." The villagers led Michael to the center of the village, where a massive wooden cross stood. Hanging from it were human bones, clean, white, and countless in number. Michael understood. This village offered human sacrifices to their god, and tonight he was the next offering. Zaneth Vur Talmar, Zaneth Vur Talmar. The chanting grew louder. Then suddenly the girl grabbed his hand. "Run! We go now!" Her broken words were enough. Michael turned and sprinted. The villagers gasped, then immediately began chasing them. "Vekar Limtur! Vekar Limtur!" The girl pulled his arm as they ran into the forest. Michael didn't know where to go, but he knew he had to keep running. Behind them, torches flickered as the villagers stormed into the woods. Thurash Zenith! Thurash Zenith! Michael clutched the girl's hand. Where do we go?" She panted. "Bridge. Old. That way. We go." She pointed toward the darkness. Then, suddenly, her face twisted in fear. Torches, coming from all sides. "Run fast." The two ran with everything they had. Then, just ahead, an old, rotting wooden bridge, their only way out. Michael turned to the girl. "Go. Cross first." Just then, Vekar Thun Ralas. The old man's voice echoed through the trees. The girl froze in place. Her eyes widened in terror. "No. Can't move." Michael grabbed her arm, pulling hard, but it was no use. She was trapped. "Damn it." He turned. The villagers were nearly upon them. She looked at him, her eyes filled with tears. "You. Go." Michael shook his head. "No. I won't leave you." She smiled sadly. "Tell outside world. Stop. This." Michael clenched his fists. Then he turned and ran. Weeks passed. Michael tried to tell the world about the village, but no one believed him. There's no such place. No record of it anywhere. Then one night, he looked out his window. In the dark, flickering torches swayed in the mist. Zaneth Vur Talmar. Zaneth Vur Talmar. A whisper brushed against his ear. The hairs on his neck stood on end. This couldn't be real. The village was deep in the mountains. He was in the middle of New York City, but the chanting grew louder. His hands trembled as he shut the curtains. He turned, catching his reflection in the mirror. Behind him, a shadow was forming. It took shape. The old man. Thurash Zaneth. Vekar Lim Tur. Michael's body froze. His feet wouldn't move. His breath caught in his throat. In the mirror, the old man stepped closer. "Why did you run?" Michael tried to scream, but no sound came out. Then, the air behind him shifted. Zaneth Vertalmar, a whisper, right by his ear. He turned slowly. The girl was there, but she was no longer human. Her skin was gray, her eyes pitch black. "You... leave me." Michael's chest tightened. "No. How are you here?" The girl gave a sad, hollow smile. "Ritual. Not finish." Behind him, the window creaked open. From the darkness, dozens of hands reached for him. "Vekar Lim Tur!" The chant roared through the room as the hands wrapped around him. Michael was dragged into the darkness. The next morning, his apartment was empty. His name erased from the system. No one remembered him. And deep in the Appalachian Mountains, in a forgotten village, a new set of white bones hung from the cross. That night, the villagers gathered again. Zaneth Vur Talmar. Zaneth Vur Talmar.